Hi VC, this is Bev here again, and this is another contest entry video. This one is for the Omaha Introvert's 1000 subs competition, and that is Hannah over in Omaha, USA. Hannah is another great member of the VC. She has a great interesting channel. She is into lots of different types of music. She has her favourites. She's also into CDs as well as the vinyl. She has a few cassettes, I know that as well. And Hannah's not been on the VC as long as some others, but her channel is really popular and she's been growing it really well. And basically I just want to say that her channel is worthy of all those subscribers, because I think she just puts it over really well, and obviously people enjoy it. So I just want to say, Hannah, congratulations on your 1000 subscribers. It's well deserved. And for your competition, I have jotted down some scribbles. Where are they? Aye. So here goes nothing. My answers, and you asked 3 questions. So the first one is if you name your 3 favourite female artists or musicians, or somebody who you feel are underrated or could do with more exposure. So I had a good think about this as well, because again, kind of similar in Robert Z's question about the vocalists, trying to pick your favourites can be tricky sometimes, unless there's a certain band or idol that sticks out, which is fair enough. But to kind of try and summarise it all in your mind and pick out 3 that you think is quite, your favourite is quite tricky. But I've got 3 that I really like. So the first is going to be Ann Wilson from Heart. Now I know Ann and Nancy, obviously, they're both equally great singers, artists. I believe Nancy plays the guitar as well, obviously. But Ann Wilson, she's got the stronger voice, and obviously she's the main singer in Heart. And I got into Heart obviously in the 80s, they have been around since the early 70s, mid-70s, I don't know. But what Heart have done well, I think, is they moved with the times really well from from their 70s through to the late 80s period. They kind of adjusted quite well to the sound changes, I think. And Ann Wilson, again, she's another one she can reach the heights with the high notes pretty effortlessly, if you like. I think one of the first songs I heard was, I think it was the song What About Love, which is on this album actually. They're self-titled from 85. And I know at the end of this song, on the outtakes, she's way up here with her vocals. But yeah, just a great rock band altogether. So Ann Wilson is my first. Another favourite of mine is Belinda Carlisle. I think Belinda Carlisle is a great singer. She's got a strong voice as well, and obviously it was at this time when this Heaven on Earth came out, which would be 1987, that I kind of discovered her. It was kind of 1987 was kind of the year for me when I started kind of seriously discovering a lot of music, and as it happens, she toured in support in this album, and I actually saw her live. It was my first ever live concert. My dad took me and my school chum and my cousin to the Playhouse. I was 11, I think, at the time. I'd be about 11 because this would be 1988 to see her. And at the time, you know, I was really into Belinda Carlisle. I loved Heaven Is a Place on Earth. I loved I Week. I initially got this album on cassette, which is kind of long gone now, the cassette, but obviously upgraded to the CD later. I've never got it on vinyl. I guess I'm always on the lookout for it on vinyl, but I just love this album. It's a fantastic album. There's loads of great songs and some cool guitar pieces in some of these songs as well. Nobody Owns Me, Should I Let You In, are kind of guitar riffs and stuff in them. Brilliant. And she was great live from what I remember. So I managed to, that was incidentally the year I missed seeing Steve Clark, a Def Leppard. They came to my city, but they had been and gone before I realised for some, you know, unfortunately, but that's another story. So yeah, Belinda, this is her greatest hits actually, because obviously after Heaven on Earth she went on and released more stuff. I do have her album that came out before this one, which was, I think it was 1986, and it's just called Belinda. I've got that on vinyl as well. And obviously Belinda Carlisle was in the Go-Go's way back in the 70s and early 80s. I'm not too familiar with the Go-Go's, and I'm not too familiar with them yet, but I do want to get around to checking them out at some point. So that's Belinda Carlisle, and a third favourite, someone that I've always loved for a long time as well, is Pat Benatar. This is her best shots. It's kind of like a greatest hits compilation as well, which I picked up when I was on holiday in America one year. So you get 15 tracks on here, and it's just some of her greatest tracks from over the time. But Pat Benatar again, I shall show some vinyl here. This is Wide Awake in Dreamland. This is a 1989 album, which has the fast-paced rocker all fired up, and it's just a really solid album. What I like about Pat Benatar again is she's consistent in her singing. She's got a strong voice, she's got a nice voice, and I like the music. It's just kind of nice guitar rock stuff. It's great to listen to. So yeah, that's that one. So that's my three favourites, well, what I would class as favourites, I think. I could give some honourable mentions to others, but you know, Stevie Nicks, Debbie Harry, Joan Jett, even the girls from ABBA. There's a country singer who I discovered some years back, Susie Bogus. I like a little bit of country, but I'm not hugely into it, but I like her. She's got a great voice as well. So that's that anyway. But that was my top three. The next question is two favourite subgenres, and show an album from each. Well, I'm kind of, you know, the subgenre thing, I think that's kind of a newer, I mean, I don't mean brand new, but a newer thing, because when I first got into music back in the 80s, there was the basics. There was pop, there was rock, there was heavy metal, and there was blues, and kind of 50s and 60s country and classical and jazz and stuff like that. It was all just very divided, and everything was a lot more. But as time's gone on, you know, there's subgenres. Look at the state of my hair. There's subgenres of subgenres and stuff like that. But I'm kind of picking up and learning about subgenres as I go. But I can name two, and I will. So one I'm going to name, obviously my main favourite types of music is the hard rock and heavy metal stuff. So one of the subgenres from that is, well, I don't know. Is hard rock itself a subgenre? You know, this is just hard rock. This is Gun, and I'm showing them. They're a Scottish band, so they're from my country. They're fairly local. They're from the west. I'm in the east, but our west and east is not nearly as far away as America's west and east. So it's such a smaller country. But Gun, they have been around since about 1980. 89, I think, was when their debut album came out, and this is the latest. This is 2017 Favourite Pleasures, and it's just, you know, good, solid, hard rock. It's kind of feel good music, some big chunky guitars and good guitar riffs, lyric sheet. And the vinyl is just plain, but you get a nice custom label there. And it's on Caroline International, this one. But yeah, Gun are very, what I would say, traditional kind of hard rock style for the most part. And I just love them. They're such a solid band. The original singer as well, he had a great voice. I forget his name, but he left the band, and so they've got a different singer now. But the singer now, and I forget his name. Where the devil's his name? I think it's Dante Gizzi. Yeah, that's it. Dante Gizzi. And Giuliano Gizzi is his brother. So there's two. Obviously, I think that's kind of an Italian sort of sounding name. So they must have Italian descent or something. But Dante, he used to be a guitar player, I think, in the band, but he took on the vocal job from the previous vocalist. And he's really good as well. He's not just quite as distinctive as his predecessor, and I forgot his name off the top of my head. I should have been more prepared. But he does the job well. He knows the Gun style, so that's just kind of traditional hard rock. And my second genre that I'm really enjoying is power metal. Power metal kind of came about in the 80s. But this is one of them, Running Wild. They were kind of one of the sort of originators of the German or European power metal, and the other band is Halloween. These guys kind of take the title for kind of bringing this style. It's very fast paced, guitar driven, fast tempo rock or metal. I would say it's more heavy metal than kind of hard rock. But I absolutely adore this band, and I only discovered them, I don't know, about 2.5 to 3 years ago, maybe, Running Wild. I never was really aware of them back in the day because they emerged in the early to mid 80s. But I don't think they were as popular over in the UK as they were in Germany. And you know, this is a reissue. This one, this album originally came out in 1989. It's my favourite of theirs, Death or Glory. And this reissue was just, when was it now? This was a 2017 reissue, and I just can't believe how much I love these guys. They're amazing. The guitar playing's stunning. It's just very, I don't know, it's just a feel-good factor about that. kind of stuff. So I'm finding, you know, the power metal's kind of energetic and hard hitting. Only thing about power metal, which I'm getting into, is a lot of the time you have like the drum beats. You get like the double bass drum a lot. Sometimes I can find that can be just a bit too much for me, but for the most part, it's okay. I can it kind of fits in. Certainly with Running Wild, it doesn't bother me, and with Halloween, I'm fine. So it's just, but there you go. So that's my two genres I've picked. I mean, there's loads, you know. I kind of, on the whole, just like rock and metal and, you know, pop. Other favourite, I like a bit of classical, especially the guitar. I mean, gospel, certain types of gospel and worship music even. So, you know, it's all good. It's all good. And the last question was, what's your favourite piece of audio equipment that I own or have owned? Well, at the moment, I mean, this is all, I say it's all new to me. You can see it on the background. That's obviously my record player is there. You've got the receiver or the amplifier, CD player, cassette deck, and the two speakers there. Now, I got all that last year in stages, and I can't take the camera over because it's fixed to the computer. So, but I hope to do another video, kind of like a room tour style thing later in detail. But I would say my favourite thing at the moment is my record player, which is it's a Pioneer PL200 from the 1980s. It's an original and it plays lovely. I updated the needle to an Ortophon 2M Red, which plays like a dream for the moment. The other favourite would be my speakers. The speakers are brand new. I bought them new last year. I couldn't decide on speakers, and I hummed and hawed between classic ones and new ones, and I ended up just going for the new ones because I needed them to be powerful enough to cope with the Yamaha receiver, which is the other new one. It's 100 watts, the speakers are 120, so I needed to make sure the speakers were going to be powerful enough to deal with it. So, as I say, the speakers are Dali Zenzer 3s, and for the size of room I'm in, this is quite a small room, they're spot on, they're more than enough for what I need at the moment. And so yeah, basically it's all my favourite. I love the whole lot. You know, the CD player is a Luxman from, I think, the late 80s or early 90s. It's a DZ120 Luxman, and the cassette deck is the Yamaha KX200, which is again early 80s cassette deck. As I say, I think the CD player was late 80s, early 90s, I'm not 100% sure. But love it all. Music's just kind of fairly recently come back into my life as in a major way, like it used to be, and I've just missed it so much. So that is my entries. As I say, congratulations and keep up the good work because your channel's great. You make everything interesting. And if you are not subscribed to Hannah at the Omaha Introvert, then I shall leave a link below, and I would certainly recommend you check her channel out. And thank you all for watching, and I shall see you later on. Bye bye.